Previously on Subspace.
What's your name?
And I'm like holding my chest together. Corin Attleberry. You remember the name, and I'm gonna walk off.
What's your purpose? What am I doing here?
Rule for the Overlord.
He's worried
Oh,
about
yeah.
his child, but he's going to come for me eventually.
And I think
What
we
are we?
need to
Are we
focus.
supposed to save this whole realm? I don't think we can.
Your blade reaches out towards the fireball, and you cleave the fireball in half, and it goes flying through the air and dissipates into the sky. You people are always complaining about the human condition and don't realize you're being oppressed by a greater foe. You're a hard bird to find, brother.
Moth. Ugh. Hold on.
Alright.
Oh my.
You're
Oh
alive.
shit. Oh almond. Oh.
I like how we go live. I press the button and you're like, oh shit, almond. Oh.
Last episode, you guys arrived at the new village, where you met a savory bar by the name of Rios, who was, he had a light blue skin, white ghostly hair, and he was talking to Orbweave, Demonia, and O'Flanagan. He was mentioning things about how the oppressed don't know they're oppressed until it's too late, etc., etc. Meanwhile, Corwin was fighting for his life just about down the village road against Mort's father, who showed up and wanted to take his kid back. Corwin was able to get Mort to get away and fared off against this other larger Dragonborn. The Dragonborn himself having a dark purple color to him, just a sinister looking pair of eyes and a lot of muscle. Corwin was able to overtake him and put him down, and you guys eventually regrouped, and you were talking about what you would like to do with him, if you should be, taken care of, or if you should leave him be. O'Flanagan wasn't too up for the idea of just killing him, and he went out back to the main road to see what was going on, and when he did, and you guys caught up to him, you saw another Aarakocra just down the road. He had brown feathers, seemed to be more of like a hawk. He had very similar to O'Flanagan, and just before he called out to O'Flanagan, he called him his brother. With the words, "You are a hard bird to find, brother," and that is where the session ended. Does anybody have questions about that? No? All right.
No questions, but I'm really excited about the tea.
Give me all the tea.
Give
I'm
me
real
all of
excited
the
about
tea.
that. Mhm.
Okay. So, you guys can all see O'Flanagan looks pretty stiff, and his muscles kind of clench. And you look down the road, and you see the other Aarakocra. He's not really bearing any weapons, but he seems to be standing over the downed body of the Dragonborn Corwin was able to defend against.
You
He
might.
says,
Here.
"You are a hard bird to
Never
find. You are a hard bird to find, brother." O'Flanagan looks back to him almost speechless, and you see he's slowly drawing his dagger. What would you guys like to do?
I'm gonna look it up
I'm-
again.
Go ahead.
Like, you know this guy?
He seems to be my brother. I haven't seen him since I was a lot younger, but he has a shocking resemblance, that's for sure.
See O'Flanagan kind of raises his beak a little bit and calls out to him, and he's like,
How do I know you're actually my brother?
the other Aarakocra down the road kind of just cracks his knuckles a little bit, and he says, "We can find out the old-fashioned way." And you see he brings back his arm like he's about to charge O'Flanagan. O'Flanagan kind of holds out his arms to you guys, and he says,
I'll handle this. If something goes wrong, just keep the guards off us.
you see he
Sorry.
looks you see O'Flanagan does look nervous, and he does tremble somewhat as he gets ready for this fight. He charges forward, and O'Flanagan gets ready to begin combat. As he's charging forward, Demonia, are you prepared to use the character sheet I gave you?
Yes.
Okay.
Teague.
So,
Do I get an attack
O'Flanagan
of opportunity?
rushes forward, and you see his supposed brother kind of brings up his fist and gets ready to strike. Annika, what would you like to do against O'Flanagan?
Fist of Unbroken Air.
Okay.
So he needs to make a savings throw of 11.
On what?
Let me see.
Monica, you're not supposed to win.
No, she's supposed to use it to the best of her ability.
It feels horrible. Once I saw the character sheet, I was like, man. Strength savings throw.
Okay.
Sorry. STR was really fucking
Yeah.
with me for some reason.
That's so weird. It's a 20 on my screen, but it says 2 plus 2, so it's a 4.
Yeah, mine says 2 plus 2 as
Yeah.
well.
It was straight up a 20 on my screen, though, but it didn't do the chime or anything. So yeah, you got a 4 for a savings throw.
All right, he lost. It's 3d10 bludgeoning damage. I can't do the damage on my side.
Okay.
You'll have to do it. It's a read-only character sheet.
So you guys watch as O'Flanagan's brother just takes his fist and he clobbers him straight into O'Flanagan's chest, sending O'Flanagan flying backwards and crashing onto the ground for 13 damage. O'Flanagan immediately jumps up, and you see he pulls out a special dagger from his back, and you can see it resembles the same daggers you guys all got from Zekrom, the ceremonial Aarakocra daggers, and he goes to strike forward towards him. With a 26.
Yeah, he hit.
He does 8 damage to his brother as the dagger slashes across his brother's chest, and you see it kind of tears through his armor a little bit. Annika, it's your move.
I'm going to use... I'm just gonna, out of anger, slash at him with my talons.
Okay.
That is... It's just a 1d4 plus 4 on damage, on hit.
Alright. Give me a hit.
To start, just slashing at him. I can't roll it.
Oh,
Let me
right.
see.
Sorry.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No, you're good. You're
She
good.
said I can.
I was like, but I would like to.
I should have made it not. I didn't mean to do that.
I didn't know if you meant to do that. I just realized that as we started. I was
Too
like,
late,
I
we're
can't
already
roll
in the shit.
anything.
Yeah, we're already in the
I
shit.
know.
You got a
Already
25
happening.
hit.
Oh my
You did
god.
5 damage.
5 damage. Yeah, just trying to claw him down on the ground. Just
Yeah,
fucking
you
him
see O'Flanagan slashes his brother, and then he immediately takes out his talons and starts slashing back at O'Flanagan, almost like a cat fight at this point. You see some guards around you guys, Demonia, Corwin, and Orbweeb. Some guards are turning and they're looking, and you hear one mutter to himself. Give me a perception check.
up. Okay.
You got that from all three of us?
Yep, all three of you.
16.
I don't know how much I'm perceiving.
18.
10.
Okay. Orbweeb and Corwin, you both hear one of the guards speak to himself. He's like, "Is that the captain?" And as O'Flanagan and his brother are fighting against each other, Flanagan is going to bring up his dagger again. You see, he kind of flips the dagger into his hand, catches it, and goes to stab him towards the chest. With a 10, you see that he takes the dagger to stab him in the chest, but he
Does
kind of
not
trembles at the last second and just barely misses him. Go ahead and respond.
I'm gonna go ahead and use hold person on him. It's a wisdom savings throw of 11.
Okay. That's 3 key points, right?
Yeah.
Make sure to mark those off. He got a 13 though and passed. So
I don't know why I'm upset about that.
you see his brother holds out his hands, and this white shimmer comes off his palms. And O'Flanagan almost stutters for a second, but continues to follow through and strikes him again with his dagger. The 24.
Damn.
It fucked me up.
It's 9 damage.
Damn.
Damn, give me 2 seconds. Oh my god. 9 damage. I can't do any. Hold on. I'm trying to
I'm doing it
count
for
my
you.
key points this way. Awesome. So I'm at
I'll mark out
4
the key points too.
Thank you. I can't do that either.
No.
Okay.
Should just be 3.
O'Flanagan, you see O'Flanagan kind of swings back his arms and gets ready for you to strike him again. And he quickly dashes backwards, 25 feet away from his brother. Almost like wind kind of gushes towards O'Reilly as he dashes backwards. What would you like to do?
Man. My key points are running out.
Corwin, Demonia, and Orbweeb, you do see some guards are starting to slowly walk towards this fight alongside civilians as well. as people are starting to get kind of curious while there's two Aarakocra fighting each other in the middle of the street.
Have I
Fair
used
enough.
3 key points?
You used 4.
Damn. Well, I'm about to finish them up. I'm going to use Fist of Unbroken Air and then use Fangs of the Fire Snake for the additional key point to increase my reach. And then if that hits, it's fire damage instead of bludgeoning, so it's an extra 1d10 on top of the 3d10, if I'm reading that right. Yeah.
Okay. So wait, say it again. What's the bonus?
The bonus is an extra 1d10 fire damage
Okay.
on top of the 3d10 bludgeoning. And it's a wisdom saving throw of 11
That's the Fist of Broken Air, Wisdom saving
with Fangs
throw.
of the Fire Snake.
You got 13. So what is it, half? Yeah, it takes half as much damage. Okay.
Yep.
So it's 17 plus the 1d10.
Yep.
So he takes 10 damage.
I wanted to, like, when I punch, to just, like, shoot out my claws, like, really
Yeah.
dramatically. It's from a way distance, so it's like a
Yeah.
fire punch.
So as you guys watch as Flanagan dashes backwards and the wind seems to be almost in his sails, metaphorically, as he flies backward almost. And as these other guards are starting to get curious and walk up, you watch as O'Reilly sticks his talons out really quickly, and these orange, they almost enlarge in ghost-like, and they become orange and fiery and shoot out towards O'Flanagan across the way and stab into his chest. And see O'Flanagan lets out a holler as he swings his arms back and gets ready to charge his brother again. You guys all see these guards are getting closer and closer, and they're about to walk past all 3 of you towards the fight that's happening. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna go up to them and just say, please don't.
Do that.
And say, hey, do you know who that is? Like, or I'm just gonna try to like stop them or distract them in some way.
Okay. Yeah, you see there's 3 guards. They are head to toe in, chainmail armor. And with the one you pull aside, you say, hey, stop, and looks down to you, and he says, do you know what is happening here?
No, I was actually gonna ask you if you knew. That's our friend, and this guy came up claiming that it's his brother, but he doesn't
Interesting.
seem so sure. And now he kind of just started trying to fight him. So now we're a little confused. Do you know who that is?
You see, all 3 of them kind of look over to the Aarakocra fighting, and one calls out and says, Captain O'Reilly, are you okay?
Captain.
And the brown
Captain of
Aarakocra,
what?
just say the brown Aarakocra, as he pulls his talons back and the fiery flames kind of wisp away into his hand, he calls back out and says, I'm just fine, lads. And O'Flanagan kind of gets angry and gets ready to charge him again. What'd you say?
I said, Captain. Captain of what?
He's the captain of our
Captain
squad.
what? Oh. Who do you work for?
Or with the Royal Army.
Oh. Okay. Please don't fight him. I think he's innocent. Our friend didn't do anything. I'm not sure why they're fighting, but I could imagine Captain O'Reilly will take care of it if necessary.
Oh, well, we'll see about that. You see, they've become highly interested in the fight, and they almost start snickering to each other. And you see 2 of the guards actually exchange coin between each other like they're making bets.
Fair enough. At least they're not trying to fight. I'm gonna walk back
Do I
over
see
to
that?
my friends.
Does
What's
Des Moines see that?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. That pisses Des Moines off. Des Moines doesn't see that.
No,
Yeah,
you see
well.
it. You see 2
okay.
guards pass coin between each other, and they snicker and laugh a little bit.
I'm gonna run up to them and be like, you think this is funny?
They look
Our
down
friend
at you
is being
almost.
attacked.
You being taller than them, they still seem to look down upon you, unjustifiably. And they say, oh, our captain's pretty strong. We're not really worried.
Okay, well, my
I'm gonna-
Birdman's pretty strong too, motherfucker. And then I'm gonna
Oh,
walk
God.
away.
He
I'm
seems
pissed.
like he's losing if you want to place bets. They kind of call out to you as you walk away.
I'm gonna stop Des Moines. I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna start walking back up to them.
No, I've got to get in
hit
front
him.
of her. I get in front of her. I can't let her do that.
All right.
Must-
Flanagan gets ready to dash back towards him. He rushes back towards him. Sorry, just a second. Okay. He rushes back towards him and he goes to swing his blade. With a natural 1, Flanagan seems to be stumbling upon himself as he's running towards his brother. He stumbles and he falls to his knees and slides towards him. It is your move, Annika.
I'm going to dash towards him.
Okay.
And fuck him up with my talons again. I want to just like almost hit him in the face. Across the face.
Natural 1. You also bring back your claws. The brother brings back his claws and goes to strike towards the Flanagan. And he stumbles for a moment, almost like he's hesitating. And you see what seems to be like he could have easily struck a Flanagan across the face. He almost purposely swipes just above him, like he didn't want to cause harm to him. Just for a moment. Flanagan responds as he drops his blade from his right hand into his left, and he goes to strike him in the pelvis with it. With a 15, he does not hit. He swings the blade and just misses his pelvis by a nail.
Oh my god. I want to try to like shove a Flanagan onto the ground and just hit him again with the talons.
Okay.
Slash him again, like across the chest.
Alright. You go, the brother takes his talons and he goes to swipe towards the Flanagan again, and seems to be almost playing with him at this point as he just swipes over his head. Flanagan, getting frustrated by this, he drops the dagger and pulls out his long sword. With an 18. 11 damage. He takes the rapier. Takes the rapier and he strikes him through the thigh and pulls it back out, and some blood spews from his thigh. And he kind of lets out a big holler and he goes to Annika, your move.
I'm out of K points. I'm going to disengage away from him after that stab.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to disengage. I'm just going to try to punch him. Just unarmed strike punch him. Just punch him as hard as I can in the face. That really pissed me off.
See, you guys see as the brown Aarakocra goes to strike Flanagan in the face, and he just seems to be losing his ego a little bit as he misses him entirely. This point, you can't quite understand why he's missing so much, as it almost seems to start becoming intentional.
Who's missing so much?
Riley.
Oh, Riley.
Okay, that's what I thought. I got a little confused for a second.
As he misses again, Flanagan takes the rapier, and you watch as he gets up and he strikes him once in the right thigh, then pulls it out and strikes him in the left torso, dealing 13 damage.
He's gonna respond to that by slashing him. It's just like out of anger and fear to slash him with his talons. Get him away from him.
You guys see the brown Aarakocra goes to strike him with his talons again and just wisps right across his body armor and doesn't make contact. Anything else you can do, Annika?
Not without key.
Okay. Flanagan kind of looks at him and he says,
There's no way you could be my brother. He was way stronger than this.
and he goes to strike him again.
Yeah.
Dealing 6 more damage.
Ooh.
You guys see Flanagan takes his rapier and strikes him in the foot, and it rips it out, and the blood spews from his foot as the captain is getting weaker and weaker. And the guards start to seem getting more and more worried to see their hands start going for their swords, and they're slowly getting ready to draw them out of the sheaths.
I y'all made bets on a fair fight that would be going against the laws that are in this land about fighting and making bets back in the sheaths.
Give me a persuasion.
I'm gonna laugh openly at them and be like, "Your dude's losing, motherfucker."
22.
They all look at you and they kind of give like an understanding nod, and they kind of slowly slide their swords back into the sheaths.
Orweeb is at her most stressed right now. She is. She's so worried about O'Flanagan and so worried about, constantly worried about these two.
All right, Annika.
I just helped.
All right, I am going to tell him again. I'm going to continue to try to just. I want to try to knock him off his feet.
Go for it.
6 damage.
Sweep the leg.
You see, he takes his talons, and this time he strikes him right into the chest of his body armor and swipes down. And O'Flanagan lets out a large holler. He takes back his rapier, seeming just in blind anger. Okay. You see, he takes back his rapier and he goes to strike forward towards the brown arrow cockroach, screaming in rage. And just before the sword makes contact, you guys can all hear the brown arrow cockroach just yell the name, O'Malley! And just as he does, you see O'Flanagan's sword stops just short of his chest, and he brings it back to his chest. And you see the battle seems to stop, and they just get locked in a private conversation.
What an interesting time for that.
You see the guards are kind of looking to each other like they're curious what just happened, as these two Aarakocra seem to have their weapons at their sides, and they just stopped dead force in the combat. What would you guys like to do?
Who's O'Malley?
I'm gonna look over at the guards, and be like, "Looks like you lost." And then I'm gonna start walking towards O'Flanagan because I want to see what happened.
All right, you start walking towards O'Flanagan, and you can hear the clanking of the chain armor also walking, as it seems like everybody's approaching this.
Yeah, I'll walk too.
All right, you guys all approach.
Where's Mort?
Mort's with
shit.
you guys. He's right
Okay.
behind Corwin right now.
Okay.
All right, you guys all
Like,
approach
forgot about the
O'Flanagan.
kid already.
Yeah, you guys all approach O'Flanagan and the brown Aarakocra as they seem to go, and they somewhat stop talking to each other, and they look to you. And the brown Aarakocra speaks. At ease, men. Go about your business. Go collect the dues. They all say, yes, Captain. And they turn around swiftly, and they just walk out of the area.
Real quick, while O'Reilly is talking, can I place my hand on O'Flanagan's back and cast Healing Word on him? Just
Yeah.
kind of silently.
Yeah, you place your hand gently on O'Flanagan's back while he's facing O'Reilly, and a blue shimmer radiates from you. Give me the rolls.
I am. 7 total.
7 total.
It's a 7. I accidentally rolled 2 d4s instead of just pressing this damn button.
All good.
So it's a +1 to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You see O'Flanagan kind of turns to you guys, and O'Reilly speaks out, and he says, "I'm sorry you guys had to just put up with him and I. There's some things I need to discuss with O'Flanagan here." You see, as he says O'Flanagan, he kind of gives a cockeye to O'Flanagan, like he's questionable of the name. He looks back to all of you guys, and he says, "Let's go meet at the local tavern." And you see he starts walking towards a local tavern. O'Flanagan does seem to be following in suit. What do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna yell towards
I'm going
the brown-
wherever O'Flanagan's going.
Fair. I'm gonna run up to the brown Aarakocra and be like, "Hey, do you need medical attention? He stabbed you like 4 times."
See, he looks down to himself, and there is blood just kind of washed on his leg, on his torso a little bit. And he looks to O'Flanagan, looks to you, and he says, "You know, if any of you have the particular abilities, I would not decline."
Fair enough. I'll cast a Healing Word on him, but not as good as the other one.
Okay.
Or-
Healing
Yeah,
word
it was not as good as the other one.
doing a healing letter. You don't get a word.
Yeah.
There's a blue shimmer coming from your palm. What is the word you speak when you're saying this, by the way?
Heal, friend.
Heal, friend.
That's what I've decided.
With heal,
Just-
friend, you watch the shimmer kind of wash over O'Reilly for a moment, and everybody kind of starts getting ready to take seats at this local tavern. As you guys walk in, you do hear music, people chatting, some glasses hitting tables. It's relatively full, but there are some free spaces available. It almost seems like O'Reilly tried to choose a more packed tavern in this smaller village.
I'm gonna go up to the counter and get an ale.
Okay. You walk up to the counter and you see a man with a cloth inside a big glass. And he goes, nice to meet ya. What can I get ya?
You have
He
ale?
seems to be a burly, bigger man with a long brown beard. He's wearing a monocle. It seems like the top of his head is just shaven, and he's wearing just a white shirt and beige brown shorts.
He sounds scary.
He is a human, probably in between the ages of 30 to 40. Caucasian. What are you ordering?
All right. I just want an ale.
Ale. He looks to you and he says, "That'll be 1 silver piece."
Perfect. I'm gonna kind of turn around actually and yell back if the group can hear me. Like, anyone want an ale?
Oh, the tea, please.
Turn around, like, you got tea?
Let me go take a look in the back. I'll see what we got. You see, he starts shuffling some stuff around, gets ready to go for the back, and Flanagan yells out.
I'll take 2 ales.
The man kind of gives a slight nod. Or are we ordering anything?
Water.
Water. Okay.
Water.
Moments
Water,
pass.
please.
You guys all
Or
find a
I'm
table.
exhausted now.
You're sitting at the table together. You see O'Flanagan, O'Reilly both have ales. Demonia has her ale. You have your water, and surprisingly enough, Corwin has his tea. It's in a thinner glass. Seems to be like the glass is a little bit dusty, like it wasn't cleaned too well. But it is tea from what you can taste. It's not the finest tea you've had. It seems like the tea itself wasn't brewed very well as you keep trying to stir it yourself.
Little
trying to bring
leaves
back,
and shit in it.
trying to bring back the flavor a little bit, but it does the job. All of you
Just
are
tastes
down.
like dirty water.
All of you are down
It's-
1 silver piece, with the exception of Orweeb.
Hell yeah. Water's free, bitches.
It should be.
She says that. I'm kidding. She doesn't say that.
I say that.
Yeah, Demonia would say that.
Okay,
So I'm gonna. Oh.
sorry. Go ahead.
Oh. As I sit down, I'm gonna look at him and be like, "So, hell of a day. What was that? Who are you? Why are you hurting my friend?"
You see, O'Reilly looks up to you with his yellow-eyed, black-pupiled eyeballs, and he looks at you, and he says, "It's just the Aarakocra are very feisty. We always have been, and we like to throw hands with other Aarakocra to make sure they are a part of our clan." You see, O'Flanagan kind of just shakes his head and looks down at his ale and takes a sip out of it. Brother here, he never really got into the whole fighting aspect of our culture, per se.
He loves to fight. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
He likes
This
to
boy.
wield knives and blades. It's not really the Aarakocra way. He kind of leans back a little cocky-like, but seemingly he is confident in what he's talking about.
Do
Well,
you
it
use
seems like you're.
bows?
No
Did
bows,
you
no
say
weapons. Typically, we wear just tunics, leather armor, nothing more. We like to fight. He brings up his hands. We like to fight with our fists. Bears out his talons and our talons.
That's really up close and personal, though.
It's the Aarakocra way. Brother here, he wasn't really made up to snuff.
I'm gonna pull out my dagger and set it on the table and be like, "Well, it seems like you're limiting yourself very threateningly as that can come across."
Okay, give me an intimidation check.
All right. I don't like this guy. I got a 9.
You see, you slam your dagger on the table, but as you go to like stab it into the table, the tip edge kind of bends a little bit and it just clamps over, and you just kind of drop it somewhat. And
Yeah, there's more where that came from.
He kind of snickers a little bit.
I'm gonna chuck it a little bit. Like, you get the fucking point. That just.
Flanagan takes a sip from his ale, and O'Reilly continues. You see here, he puts his hand on Flanagan's shoulder. When brother was just a wee baby, his first rite of passage was to fare off against another child in a good old-fashioned fisticuff match. And brother here pulled out a dagger. So, let's say that fight didn't end too well, did it? Oh, Flanagan. He kind of snickers when he's saying Flanagan's name. And Flanagan kind of shakes his head, and he says,
I only cut him a little bit. It was an accident. I wasn't fully prepped for the rules.
He's lying. He didn't like training with his fists. He hated it, right? We'd always find him out in the wilderness trying to hunt squirrel and other animals for game for food. We'd find him throwing daggers at trees. Where did he get these daggers? We wouldn't even be able to know. He just kept finding them. Sometimes he'd craft them himself. Believe it or not, he'd find logs and he'd sharpen them into little pointy blades. And he would hunt with those. He would fight with those. Two different occasions, he pulled out a dagger in a fisticuff match. Dad whooped his freaking ass. I'll tell you what. Flanagan kind of keeps just shaking his head, seeming like he's not making eye contact with any of you, and he's just staring down at his ale. It might dawn on you for the first time ever that Flanagan has barely talked about his childhood with you guys. He talked about how he escaped and what happened at the Waterfall Citadel, but as far as his early life, he has barely mentioned anything.
Well, there's no fair fights in this world. I think he's just smart.
As you say that, you kind of see the dragging of a chair, and the chair seems to be almost moving by itself as it goes up towards the table, and you kind of hear, ha! Mort jumps up on top of the table and slams his arms on the actual tavern table, and he goes, "So, Flanagan was a killer? He killed people?
We've all killed people, Mort.
Oh my
But
god.
he did it for fun, right?"
Oh my god.
Yeah, he didn't kill anyone, at least in our clan. But I can't say he didn't try. Okay, so you're gonna teach me how to kill people, right, O'Flanagan? As he says O'Flanagan, O'Reilly snickers a little bit, and O'Flanagan responds,
I'm not going to teach you how to kill people. I will teach you how to wield a dagger.
"Yeah, you should teach him how to fight like your clansman." O'Flanagan kind of just gives a scowl towards O'Reilly, and O'Reilly just puts his hands up and grabs his ale again and sips from it.
Huh.
Is there anything you guys would like to say or do?
I'm gonna look at O'Reilly. Like, so what's with the name thing?
What do you mean?
You've
Oh, you
snickered
mean O'Flanagan?
every time.
You mean O'Flanagan, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, O'Flanagan. What do you think? What's the deal with the name thing? And O'Flanagan shakes his head. He doesn't seem to be very talkative right now. You see, the O in our names is something ceremonious, right? It's earned. You fight for years. You train in the culture for years. I didn't get the O for my name until I was a man. The fact that O'Flanagan here abandoned us, kind of gives a cock eye to O'Flanagan, and then still has the feathery balls to call himself O'Flanagan. And he's just O'Flinny Boy. That should be his real name. O'Flinny Boy. No. His name is Flanagan. Not O'Flanagan. Not O'Flinny. No O. You see, he gets a little bit stern, a little bit angry. Just Flanagan.
I'm sure he's earned his own title.
You see, that's the thing. You can't just... In our culture, there's a rite of passage that needs to be assessed here. It's a passage of self-sacrifice. It's a passage of strength and wisdom and courage. which he fails in all aspects here. He's not wise. He's not courageous. He didn't pass any sort of rite of passage. When our village was attacked, you see O'Flanagan kind of like takes his Riley's hand and slams it on the table. And he goes,
That's enough. That's enough.
and Riley kind of just takes his hand away from O'Flanagan and takes its ale back in hand. He says, well, when he wants to talk about it, I'll let him tell that story. Takes a big swig from his ale, slams it back on the ground. He says, I'll take another one! And you hear the tavern keeper far away goes, You got it! As he keeps continuing to clean ales and he starts pouring one. What would you guys like to do?
I'm gonna look up to O'Reilly and just say, okay, well, enough about the family stuff. Obviously, it seems to be a sore subject. Can we help you? Is there a reason you sought O'Flanagan out?
I've actually been trying to find O'Flanagan for a long time. You see,
And why is that?
there was an incident at the Waterfall Citadel a few weeks back where there was a somewhat entanglement, if you will, with the Ortanga Squad. The Ortanga Squad is a part of the Royal Army. They are the protectors and lead guardsmen of the Waterfall Citadel. And there was an incident with a bunch similar to looks like each of your descriptions, with the exception of that small child there. Hey! And we think that you guys were involved. You see, there was a chase throughout the Waterfall Citadel that caused a lot of damage. A wall collapsed, some shops were punctured, a house collapsed, and then there seems to be what looks like a giant just battle happen outside the western gates of the Waterfall Citadel. And ever since then, one of our generals has been missing.
Who?
He goes by the name General Commander Greed. He has been missing from our ranks for about 2 weeks now. And it seems like O'Flanagan is a part of the group that last saw him. Now, he kind of leans forward a little bit. Looks around like he's trying to make sure nobody's listening. I came to find O'Flanagan to figure out if he was able to kill him. You see his voice quickly kind of dampers, like he's trying to portray an image of concern and hopefulness. Were you able to kill Commander Greed?
I'm gonna look at Corwin and Orbweeb. Be like,
Can I prepare an Eldritch Blast under the table? Like, just put my hand down there, just like pointed right at him, just in
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, you kind of ball your fist, and if someone were to see it, you could see little embers of light just kind of sparking between the fingers of of Corwin's hand, and
throwback.
just sparking in Corwin's hand as he keeps it under the table, and there can be a slight little buzz heard if you tried to listen for it, but if you weren't paying attention for it, you wouldn't even notice.
Perfect. All right.
If your commander happened to be no longer part of this world, how would you be responding?
The longer part.
You see, he looks to O'Flanagan, and he says, I don't know, can I trust them? And O'Flanagan looks back to O'Reilly, and he goes,
I found it to be easy so far.
Aw.
Well,
I would say, his voice gets low, his voice gets quieter and quieter as he continues. I would be eternally grateful. The generals are not good people, and something is going on. I've
Something is
been
indeed.
working and inciting the Royal Army for a few years now. I'm in cohorts with my partner. We work with a faction. They go by the name of the Freedom Fighters. and they are trying to rebel against the rule of cause. And my faction partner, he's been inciting the Waterfall Citadel day-to-day operations for a while now. But, and I've been inciting the actual army itself.
Alright, what if I happen to bring up a certain name, and Corwin will, like, lean forward. Like, what do you know about the name, Vecna?
Vecna. I don't know anything about that name.
Alright, that's fine.
I mean,
Something smells fishy.
something has been going on for a long time in the upper ranks. The commanders have been in the field for weeks now. One commander is missing. All of the squads are under the generals. We have no idea what they do in the field. It's top secret, they don't tell us. And one of our fellow clansmen is superseding the army. And he goes by the name, he kind of gets closer and closer. O'Malley. As he says that, O'Flanagan kind of clenches his fists a little bit. Speechless. O'Malley and another man. He wears just all black armor with these white lenses. We have no idea who he is. He doesn't say his name, he doesn't even talk. But he's covered head to toe in black armor. He's not any of the generals. He's above the generals. Covered head to toe in black armor. But his combat skill is something I've never even seen. Every time I've seen him fight, he's always been able to take down a man with 1 to 2 swings of his sword.
Can you give us, not to not trust you here, but we've ran into our fair share of trouble, if you will. Is there any capacity of physical proof that you can give us that you are not setting us up right now?
Nothing. I don't have any physical proof to provide you. But, simply put, we have guards throughout this entire village. If I wanted you detained, I would already have done so.
I think that's proof enough.
Are your guards the ones who are, forcing people to pay a tax, even though they've already paid recently, and you've come through twice already in this month alone, if I'm remembering this correctly?
You see, he kind of looks down to his ale as he say that, and as he finishes his sentence, you can hear a tavern keep walk up. He goes, "Oh, 1 ale!" He slams it on the table, and some of the ale spills out of the jar, and he goes, "Oh." O'Reilly says, "Oh, thank you, that'll do." He takes the ale in hand firmly as his hand is shaking somewhat, and he says, "Look, they have been sending us out to collect triple the amount of taxes that anyone is supposed to pay. All of our forces are out in the field somewhere. The king hasn't been seen in weeks. The recruitment efforts have 10 times increased. The amount of people we've taken into our forces are substantial. They're preparing for something.
Who are you fighting?
I don't know. They're preparing for something. They're gathering resources, they're gathering money, they're gathering arms. We don't know why, but something is brewing. And they keep sending squads like mine back out in the field to collect these taxes. Now, what do I want to? No, God, no. But if I don't do it, somebody way worse than me would fill my place. I tried to make sure the least of the bad happens. Unfortunately, what I can accomplish are still bad things. The lashings are a saving grace. If somebody else filled my name, let's just say it'd be a lot worse than lashings.
Well, we've ran into our own rash of strange issues. Something's going on. Something. we've made alliances recently to help protect for whatever is about to happen. There's been something chasing us.
Do you have any theories?
Well, and I'm gonna kind of look over to Corin and Orb, and be like, kind of a nod, like, can I keep going, kind of thing.
Keep it small.
Mm-hmm.
You see, Mort kind of has his arms crossed on the table, and he kind of just like leans up to you guys when you talk, leans to O'Reilly when he talks, and he just seems increasingly fascinated by the conversation.
Hold on real quick. I'm gonna see if I can...
This is just a lifetime of trauma set up for him.
Oh, yeah.
Kid's gonna need a lot of therapy, not just
Yeah,
from
he
his
is.
before
Yeah.
meeting us.
Yeah. I was trying to see if there was something I could give Mort to keep him distracted.
Get him a nail. He'll be real
That sounds like-
distracted.
That sounds like a Des Moines thing to do. Like, get the kid a nail. I don't know what to do with kids.
It's like that fucking video. It's like, what do I give him, a beer or something? He's 4!
Oh, so no? Okay.
But I don't know what to do with him.
I don't know what to do with him.
Fuck it, for real. I have a little disguise kit and a little clothes and costume kit. I'm gonna assume out of that I just have some like pieces of like string and rope and stuff. I'm gonna ball all that up and give it to Mort and be like, can you braid all this for me?
You see, you pass it to Mort, and he looks up to you with glowing eyes. He says, "I'll try!" And he starts just fumbling with the string and the rope. You see,
Like,
he's doing
awesome.
a very bad job as he just takes the
That's
string and
great.
starts wrapping it around the rope. Like that.
Beautiful.
That'll keep him distracted for a while. And I'm gonna turn back to O'Reilly. Like, look, I'm not going to go into crazy depths, but we have had some sort of force following us. We were in alliance with a village, and we know something's happening. I feel like there's going to be a war soon.
Well, at the capacity the Royal Army is growing and preparing and collecting resources, I would say there's definitely going to be a war soon. The perpetrator is the biggest question. I don't know. I mean, I'm high up in the ranks as a commander of my own squad. That does take a few years. But even I don't know what's going on.
I feel as though we might be on the opposite side of the war.
Maybe with the Royal Army, but as far as the freedom fighters go, no. If your goal here is to end the tyrant rule of King Kaz, then you are on my side. He kind of gives a graceful nod and sort of changes his presence from the egotistical attitude he had before to a embracing friendliness.
I'm gonna lean over to O'Flanagan, and I'm just gonna kind of whisper, "You buying any of this?"
You lean over to Flanagan and he kind of looks back towards you, and you see there's like a war-torn look in his face as he seems at this point. His mentality seems to be so in shambles that he's like afraid of what's going to happen next. As the words in his voice seem to be trembling, he says,
He fights just like my brother. He's some of the only family I have left. I'm inclined to believe him. And like he said, I mean, he could have tried to kill me, but there was a couple moments in that fight where I saw him hold back. So, I buy it.
he gives you like a reassuring nod.
Okay.
I can kind of... You see, O'Malley is the biggest concern of ours here.
Is O'Malley an Arakakra? Just with the O thing, I'm honestly just curious.
O'Malley is an Aarakocra. He is on the high ranks with the black armored individual. They both help supersede and lead the entire royal army. Rumor has it they only answer directly to the king. They don't even answer to the generals. some information I can provide you all due to the fact that I trust my brother here. You know, differences aside, he kind of gets a cockeyed look to Flanagan. Differences aside, this is what I can tell you. First off, there's 7 commanders, 7 generals who help oversee the army. You have Commander Lust, Commander Wrath, Commander Gluttony, Commander Pride, Commander Envy, Commander Sloth, and the missing Commander Greed. As a unit, they have been dubbed the 7 Deadly Sins for their fearsome fighting acts. We theorize that they were heroes from the Civil War who have turned to more aggressive fighting styles. It's every time they've been in a fight, they've never left their opponent standing or breathing, even.
We barely made it out.
So you fought against him.
We did.
Do you know what happened to him? Is he dead?
We don't know. We never saw his body.
What do you mean? How did you not see his body?
Big storm. Big one.
Orby's having like fucking flashbacks right now. She's triggered as hell. She's like, oh god.
I'm gonna look over at point to Orby and be like, our friend here, had a level of power that I've never seen from her before. She created a storm so large, we all almost died. We had to. We thought we'd got him, and the storm was so intense we had to leave. O'Flanagan actually saved our lives. He's the only reason we got out.
How do you save your lives? He gives almost kind of like a look like he doesn't believe what you're saying.
Look, it seems fantastical. I just remember there was lightning strikes, there was fire, it felt like there were bombs dropping on the earth.
I'm gonna cut Demonia off and just say, he flew and he saved me. Like, I'm gonna start yelling. She's mad. She's mad. He done tipped her off. She's mad.
He flew and saved you?
Off, sir.
He flew and he saved me. And he really hurt himself trying to. And he did do it. And we all found safety. And God, half of us were knocked out and we got away, but he is a hero. And I'm like, point to a Flanagan, all angry, like.
As you point to a Flanagan, you can't help but notice that Flanagan is staring into his ale, unresponsive to that remark.
Oh, fine.
Oh, fine.
He's a hero?
Yeah. He
Maybe
saved our
Baby
brother.
Brother has decided to follow the culture a little bit more. He gives a cockeyed look back to Flanagan, sees that Flanagan has not looked back to him, then looks back to you guys.
He took us to he's a feller Lyric? Yeah, Lyric.
Lyric.
Yeah, he dons a lot of green armaments. I don't know if he's a part of the Waterfall Citadel, but I think does gardening.
That sounds like him. That sounds like my partner. He
Oh.
Yeah,
Cool guy.
Inside of the day-to-day operations. His name is Lyric. The person you met could have been an impersonation, though. I mean, what did he look like?
Well, that's the thing. He had a mask on. It's green, brown trim along the sides. He had a bow on his back.
That sounds like him.
All I know is he let us sleep in his house, and he fed us and sent us on our way.
He helped
He's
us.
always been a
kinder
really
to
good
us.
guy. He's always been a really good guy. He's
Kinder to us than he had to be.
He's my partner in the Freedom Fighter operations. We were both sent on the Waterfall Citadel mission to inside the operations of the day-to-day and the Royal Army.
It sounds like him. He's a really good guy, and he was very helpful.
But I hate to tell you, I don't know if he's dead. None of us know. The commotion of what happened, I can only assume it would have killed him. But I can't say.
Lyric?
No.
Oh,
Greed.
greed.
Oh. Greed. Well, I hope he is dead. That son of a bitch deserves it. I've seen him.
I mean, he was getting pretty fucked up in the sky, so
I've seen
if
him
he did make it out of that, that's pretty damn impressive.
Well,
seeing
yeah,
what
you
they're
hit him.
capable of. I would gamble he survived it, no matter what you threw at him.
No, or we hit him with some lightning, and then he had the fall itself. So,
We were pretty high
didn't
up there.
He didn't seem like a man when we fought him.
no, he
Yeah.
had a really deep
Des
yellow.
Moines is gonna immediately regret saying that. Passing off too much information.
Last we saw, he was struggling. He seemed to be at conflict with himself, and he left the field for a couple of days. And last we heard, he was renting out a cabin in the Waterfall Citadel, and he seemed to be in torment.
Have you heard anything about him since that commotion at the Waterfall Citadel, or just outside of it?
He's been missing ever since.
Like, he's not at that cabin?
No, we've searched the cabin itself has collapsed. We talked with the Ortega squad, and with their captain Roderick, and he threw a name towards us, which led me on this case. He threw me the name O'Flanagan. He's not very fond of you, by the way. He looks to O'Flanagan saying that, and O'Flanagan just says,
I know.
still somewhat dead
Fond of
within.
any of us.
He's like, yeah.
He don't really like us too much either.
Yeah, Roderick isn't the most welcoming, but he is respectable. I can say that. Anyway, that house was collapsed. We followed the path of disaster. It looked like some kind of chase occurred. We found the field where you guys seem to have fought Greed, leaving just a crater of sorts. No bodies.
I just...
Right,
he
but-
became...
He what?
There was something wrong with him.
What do you mean?
He became this monster.
He's always been a monster.
No,
Right.
it was...
Step on Des Moines' foot.
No, I'm gonna stop talking when he does it. Be like, no, you know what? Never mind. And just start drinking my ale.
Look, the commanders, the generals, he's always been a monster. I watch him steal from the poor, murder the rich, choke the life out of the innocent. The issue was, toward the end, he stopped. He was acting sane and normal. Nice, even. Like he was
seemed
at
very...
inner conflict within. One day he would be very aggressive back to his usual self, and the next we'd find him in the Waterfall Citadel having pleasant conversations, dare I say, with his civilians.
He seemed very pacified when we met him. And then he wasn't.
It's strange. We don't know much about the generals, or why they're so powerful, but he was acting strange, and I have to say the other generals, they're starting to act strange too. I've been able to put my finger on it yet, but something's going on.
What kind of weapon did Greed wield?
He was infamous for the broadsword he wielded. Bigger than
Wait.
any one of us. If he were to stick it in the ground, it would put a crater. They say just him releasing his grip upon the sword would pierce through solid stone if he just dropped it a foot high. They say when he was exhausted in a battle and he lifted it off his shoulder and allowed it to fall to his legs. Crater. Almost no man could lift it. You'd have to have the strength of 30 men to lift that sword.
Yep,
Well-
yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know why that sword is the way it is, but it's almost like the sword itself has its own gravity, and it sinks if he's not the one holding it. I mean,
Checks
there's
out.
sometimes I would see that sword sitting on a table during meetings, and I could swear just the sword sitting on a table, it was cracking the wood of the table, like it was sinking. Some people rumor and theorize that the sword came from hell, and it's trying to go back. That's the rumor, anyway.
Interesting.
Well,
Yeah,
I hope he's dead.
I hope so too. He's an evil man. O'Malley, though. O'Flanagan. I found out when I was in the army, or still am, but not. O'Malley led the charge on our own clansmen. He led those Dragonborn soldiers to our village to slaughter them. He's looking towards O'Flanagan, and O'Flanagan, kind of like holding his ale and like kind of like tracing his talon on the glass, just stops, and it's like a when he stops his nail. He led them to the village. He helped them get slaughtered, and I'm guessing that's why he's so high in the ranks now, for his treason against us. And Flanagan is speechless. But, on that note, I feel like I've brought the mood down enough. O'Flanagan, I'm happy you're okay. And I love you, brother. Please, just be safe. Don't get yourself killed. You see O'Flanagan kind of chimes out for the first time in a minute. He says,
Come with us.
What?
"Come,
Hold on.
what are you talking about?"
The Royal Army isn't safe. Right? And as much as we disagree with one another, you are my brother. And I do want to keep you safe. And the way of the Aarakocra is not going to work forever. You see,
he's staring directly at O'Reilly. And O'Reilly kind of like gives a soft chuckle and he says, "There's too much to be done with the freedom fighters. I would if I could. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done. There's still intel I need to gather. To all of you, please, be safe. Something's happening, something is coming. We don't know what yet. But if I find you again, I'll tell you what I know."
I'm sure we'll find each other again.
Consider the rest of your night on me. You see he takes out a pouch. He kind of shakes a little bit. You hear coins ringing on the inside. Drops it on the table. "The rest of your night's on me. I've bothered you far enough. Take care."
One more thing.
Yeah.
What do you know about Eagle's Crest?
Well, I heard word that it was destroyed.
Right.
That's all I really know. But I can say this: it's not the first location that's been destroyed.
Do you know who did it?
I don't.
Alright.
We have people heading there now to see what's going on, to report what they can find. But yeah, I'm just a part of the tax deductions division for now.
All right. Do you know of any other villages that have Aarakocra?
No, I mean, as far as I know, we're extinct. Me and my brother here are the last,
You've
And
never
with the
had
O'Malley.
any
exception
other?
of O'Malley. Yeah.
Okay.
Why, have you heard something?
We just wonder. It's
Give
a
me a
big world out
deception
there. Let me finish my sentence. There was more to that.
You can say
I was
more if you want.
pausing. I was gonna say. I've lost my role. It's a big world out there, and well, I've only met O'Flynnigan up to now, and you're here, and I feel like there's got to be more than 3 of you in this entire world.
Well, I'm sure
I mean, how is there not? I feel like you'd be better known. You're an ending of a race. No offense. I just always wonder. You seem to be more involved with this plane.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's more of us out there. But as far as who I've seen, there's my brother here, who turns out is alive. Me and O'Malley. I'm sure there's probably a couple dozen more. But I haven't seen them. I haven't heard any reports of them. But that's all I know.
Can we do a little pause real fast?
Yeah.
I got a question out of all of this.
Mhm.
Did we ever tell O'Flynnigan? We told O'Flynnigan about that city, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, okay, it's starting to come back now, because he was like got all up in Zekrom's face about it. Okay, I just had to make sure.
Okay.
That's fair.
Alright, now give me that deception check.
I was making a convincing line out of it. I got a 7.
He looks to you and he says,
Don't care.
what is your name again?
Des Moines. I forgot my own alias.
Des Moines.
Which makes me
Lack of
out of
confidence
character.
in that.
I forgot my own alias. I was like, Des Moines.
Give me a second deception check.
Yeah, that's fair. I fucking.
The
I had to look at my character
questioning in
sheet.
that was so
Des
funny.
Moines?
Des Moines,
18.
Des Moines, listen. I know you guys might not believe that I'm being truthful here. But if there is a clansman of Aarakocra, the freedom fighters need to know about it. Is there an existing village in Aarakocra left alive?
We heard rumors.
Rumors like...
Like there's a village of Aarakocra. And we haven't made our way there yet.
Who said these rumors? Where are they? Like, what?
We heard them from a tavern's keep. God, maybe 6-7 days ago. I talked to O'Flynnigan about it. We've thought about going there. Just to see. I mean, it feels like a pipe dream, honestly. An entire village of them. But it's maybe worth you trying to find out.
Give me deception.
Why? That was so good!
The dice don't care.
Unnatural 20.
Huh. Tavern keep. Huh?
He could have just been a drunk man.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't see Aarakocras every day.
No.
Maybe he just got excited. But I see you, and I see him, and you're with the freedom fighters, and if there's any way that can help you, then we're on the same side.
I finished the braid! Mort interrupts and he has the braid like tied up with a string. He sees a little knot on it and it's just the rope with a single piece of string tied up. The string is frayed. He cut it a few times. It's a lot shorter than what you had originally. And he holds it out to Des Moines and he's like, I got it, Des Moines, this! Cleverly, he seems to use your alias and not your actual name, as he seems to be he was listening somewhat to the conversation and paying attention.
Smart boy.
Thank you, Mort.
I'm gonna give him a little rub on the back for that one.
You give him a little rub on the back.
Well, good job, kid.
I'm gonna grab it from him and be like, thank you so much. Appreciate it, kid. That was really helpful. And then I'm just gonna tie it around my wrist. Put it on. I needed one of those.
You tie it around your wrist, and you tie it well, it stays put. And O'Reilly continues. Just stay safe out there. Something's brewing. We don't know what. And I'll be in touch. someday. He gets up from his table, takes one last poke at the bag he left, kind of like leaving a reminder that he left some coin for you.
Thank you.
Says, enjoy your night. He pushes
As
in
he's
his
walking
chair.
away,
We won't let
Sorry.
this man leave.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
as he was walking away,
Oh,
I was gonna kind of look back to him and just say in Arakakra, because I've never actually gotten to use the language yet, even though I know it. I'm gonna say in Arakakra, stay safe, friend. I will pray for you.
And were you able to? You can speak it, but you can't read it, or you can
I
read it,
can
but you can't speak it.
and write it and
Okay.
read it now.
Oh,
I
okay.
can actually all of my languages. I can speak, read, and write now,
Nice.
which is actually a lot of them. So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
that
Yeah.
I have now
You
gained so many skills.
say it again.
Stay safe, my friend. I will pray for you.
You see, as he's walking, he stops dead in his tracks, looks back to you, and he gives you like a really approving nod and a smile. Takes one last look to a Flanagan, mumbles to himself, and then turns around and walks out of the tavern.
Right.
He was interesting. The more kind
Yeah,
of
it was,
chimes in.
buddy.
So we got all this gold now. Can I have my first beer? And he reaches out and starts scrambling for the
Oh,
gold
no.
bag and drags it over.
Wait, I'm gonna look at him and be like, I have an idea. I'm gonna be like, yeah, let me go get it for you. I'm gonna walk up to the tavern keep. Be like, hey, can I get a glass of water with just do you have something that's not ale that might color the water a little bit?
We have piss.
This is for a child. I should have prefaced
Oh,
that.
maybe honey?
Maybe. Could you do, I'll pay you a little extra for it. Glass of water, a little bit of honey, and just a splash of ale. Just enough to maybe help color the water. I'm trying to make a kid's day.
Where's the kid? And he starts looking around like he's trying to figure out who you're talking about.
I'm gonna point to Mort at the table.
Say that squirmy
sitting
little
at the table.
fucker over there.
That's the only child, hopefully, in this tavern.
So we're responsible parents.
Yeah, we are.
take them in
Yeah.
the bar.
He looks
To watch
over and he sees Mort, who is luckily wearing his hooded cloak covering most of his body.
That's
And he goes, I can't even tell what he looks like. How do I know that's not a halfling?
Dude, why would I lie about having a kid? Do you think I'd give an adult a cup of honey and a splash
I
of
don't
ale?
know.
I think he'd
I'm just
punch me in
kidding.
the head.
Okay.
That's like a horrible prank.
All
I would
right.
fucking want.
All
I
right.
appreciate it. Thank you.
It'll be
How much
5
do I owe
gold
you?
pieces.
Fuck, dude. 3?
Fuck, dude.
All right, 3. He takes,
Hey, thank you
takes 3
so much
gold
for all
pieces
your
from
kindness.
you. Are you gonna hold out your hand with the gold pieces to him?
Yeah.
You hold out your hand.
Yeah.
He grabs you by the wrist, pulls you in. Says, I would have done it for 2. And then let's go and takes the gold pieces and walks, walks
gonna,
to
like,
the counter.
Flick him in the chest as I walk off. Just like, not like aggressively, just like,
Yeah, you flick him in the chest, and he gives a chuckle, like it's this average tavern keep play with his customer to
Oh, he gets
clientele.
some tip.
And he brews it up, makes it, gives it to you. You see, there's like it's like hardly mixed, but you can tell he put some honey in it. And there's a little bit of ale in it, and it seems like it's kind of slowly beginning to stir. But it's like
I'll
he
take
dumped
my-
it and didn't stir at all.
I'm like, for 3 gold? I'm just gonna be pissed about that. I'm gonna take my dagger and kind of whisk it up a little bit, stir it.
As you're like
Bring it back
walking
to-
away, and you say, "As for 3 gold," he has like a empty glass in his hand with a rag, and he gives a cockeyed smile and goes, and starts cleaning out a glass as you're walking
Ew.
away.
Fucking
I'll
barkeep.
stir it up a little bit. I'll bring over to Mort and slam it on the table in ridiculous fashion and be like, all right, kid.
You slam
first-
the ale on the table, and he has glowing eyes. He goes, "Is that ale?"
That's for you. Drink
He's-
up, kid.
He reaches his hands out to it and pulls it in, and he takes the whole thing, and he opens out his maw and takes the glass and just starts dunking it down. Gulp, 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 gulp. Slams it back down on the table, and he goes, "Am I drunk now? When does it start?"
Give it a minute.
He sits there like he's actually giving it a minute, waiting for it to begin.
Perfect.
He's actually giving it. I'm gonna grab his cloak and like retuck it over his head. Like, you're a
You
man
grab
now.
his cloak and you tuck it back over his head to help hide his identity. And he starts waiting. He starts wobbling back and forth like he's pretending to be drunk. And he goes, "Oh, I'm feeling it now, Demointhus." And he starts just leaning back around. Eventually, he seems to playfully pretend like he's trying to impress you guys. He's like, "But I can handle it." And he falls out of his chair onto the floor.
I'm gonna look at
Thump.
everybody. I'm gonna look at the rest of the group and be like, "It's water and honey," and just smile.
Okay. Alright.
Perfect.
Okay. You guys continue to have some drinks and go about your night. And as it does begin night, you guys, I assume, want to take a tavern or take an inn and fall asleep.
Definitely.
You guys rest up and it becomes morning slowly. And with that, we will take a break.